Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the AEW Dark Review for the 30th of March 2021. Yet again, they run the show way too long. I say that with every show, and I'm going to continue saying it until somebody there gets a clue. I love AEW. Much of their talent I enjoy. Well, at least half. Much more than WWE. A lot, well, sometimes more than Impact. But I must say, the length of these shows is ridiculous. 14, 16, 15, 12, whatever number of matches. It's just unnecessary. And it just shows that they don't know how to tighten their belt, so to speak, metaphorically, on what talent they choose to feature and what talent they choose to hire. So anyway, Butcher and Blade with Matt Hardy and the Bunny and Private Party versus Milk Chocolate, Brandon Watts and Randy Summers. I don't know. Hardy family office interfered during the match. Suplex powerbomb combo on Watts. Give Butcher and Blade the win. I wouldn't even have Butcher and Blade in the company at this point. I don't see where they are and up for the company. They run at 6.25 minutes, a little bit over, and honestly, they could have done this match in about 2. Maddie Weslowski against Jasmine Allure, 4 minutes here. Leva Bates does commentary for the match. She's kind of advancing her feud with Weslowski. She never found her deal in AEW, has not thus far. Weslowski hits a side slam and wins, hits an axe kick for good measure. Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico defeats Dean Alexander and Judas Law in just over 5 minutes. Alexander and Law make a tag debut here. Creeping death on Alexander leads to a win for Chaos Project. Chaos Project, another 2 guys who, if you're stuck for talent, I guess that you could bring them on. But a guy over 50 doesn't need to be featured when he doesn't have name value. They get wins. More so to be taken seriously by name competition when they face them, but it's just sad. Anyway, Angelico with Jack Evans defeats Sonny Kiss with Joey Janela. The 2 better parts of their respective teams. Janela wins last night on Elevation. Evans lost so that Evans losing in previous shows, they're probably going to equal out, just makes things balanced, I guess. Kiss is the better of the talent with him and Janela. I've mentioned that before. There's much more story to be told in his character and angles and all of that, but they're not going in that direction. And Helico hits Kiss on a series of exchanges, kicks him in the stomach. Kiss comes back with a dive arm drag, and it's pretty decent. Everyone on Dark kind of starts to look the same after you watch literally what amounts to about 30 matches in 2 days. Kiss looks fine, and Helica wins with the death roll and an ankle lock. Kiss fights back a little bit, but taps out. Max Caster cuts a promo. Caster cuts a promo on Alex Reynolds and the Dark Order, calling out Paige. And apparently that's going to lead somewhere down the road. Dark Order, Uno, Grayson, and Cabana defeat Barry Morales, Billy Collier, and D3 in just over 7.75 minutes. All these trio matches are just stupid. You're trying to be Mexico, you're not Mexico. You're trying to be Japan, you're not Japan. Stick to what American fans know and like, and then once you've established actual stars, if you want to introduce a new style, it'd be worth it. But anyway, Collier debuted against Moxley yesterday, as of the reviewing of this, so Monday. Um, and I mean, he's kind of, uh, sort of reminder of a WWE developmental talent who just is a little bit smaller. He's impressive in size, but size alone is not going to cut it in this or any American promotion these days. The match starts with Uno in D3. I don't really get the D3 thing. He looks so skinny, but this is the same promotion that will employ people like Marco Stunt. Um, Collier gets into some impressive stuff. Grayson comes off the ropes for Tornado DDT and turns it into a suplex. Grayson comes back with a Rana. Tags made on both sides. Morales gets nailed into the turnbuckle by Cabana, and there's a win after the Chicago Skyfire on D3. Um, Jurassic Express, Marco Stunt Luchasaurus with Jungle Boy defeats Priest and KC Navarro in just under 2 minutes. Why do these guys get 2 minutes, but others get 6, 8, 10? Doesn't make sense. There's no logic to the timing out of these shows. But I guess when you don't have commercial advertisers to please in the YouTube show, you don't need to worry as much about that. But it does make your company look weak when there's no rhyme or reason to length of matches. Priest and Navarro are smaller talents. Stunt, though, still doesn't even... Oh, gosh. I mean, Marco Stunt, I'm sorry. He'd be a cool tackling dummy for a wrestling school, but I don't... Him taking a national spot to me is insulting to the state of the business. Anyway, Luchasaurus gets tagged and hits Priest with chokeslam, pinning actually both people with double chokeslam. Diamante defeats Viperous in just under 3 minutes. Dominating performance by Diamante, who they seem to start with quite a bit. They haven't really found a full-time place for her, but they always seem to keep her in the mix. Short arm clotheslines, and then there's a submission with a head and arm choke. Viperous gets nailed with a body scissors. Team Taz, Cage, Starks, and Hobbs with Hook defeats St. Patrick, Sage Scott, and Chandler Hopkins in just under 5 minutes. Dissensions among Team Taz continue. Kinda here, Hobbs and Starks refuse to tag Cage in. Referee's distracted. Hook hits a gut-wrench suplex on the arena floor. Starks hits the Rochambeau. Cage tags himself in and finishes with a drill claw for the win. Big Swole, Red Velvet, and Kylan King defeats Ashley Vox, Demi Echo, and Vet Vixen. 6 women matches now. It's a sign that they've hired too many people. King lost on Elevation last night, so there's no reason for her to be here today. Vox and Echo are, in fact, sisters, apparently. They work as the Sea Stars. I've seen them before. They're pretty decent. I think my first exposure to Vox was on the NWA Power Show, probably about a year ago. Swole and Echo start out. Swole uses a cravat and then a takedown tackle into headlock. Swole tags out to Red Velvet, and there's some miscommunication on the team. Velvet eventually gets a near fall after a leg lariat. Echo comes back with a side slam for a near fall, and Velvet winds up in the wrong corner. Vox hits her with a forearm. Vox then held Velvet open for a clothesline, but Velvet ducks and Echo hits her sister instead of her opponent. King winds up on the floor, eats a clothesline from Vet Vixen, and then um, they basically knock each other out. Simultaneous kicks, and Swollen Box. Swole dominates both Sea Stars, uh, taking a out of corner Uranagi on one of her opponents. Vox and Echo toss King and Velvet to the floor, and then there's a series of planches. Swole joins them on the floor. Vet Vixen comes in, some suplex dives, and then dives on Pile into the floor. Echo throws Swollen back in and helps Sister deliver a senton. Swole gets the knees up. Tags made. Vet Vixen with the chef's kiss, roundhouse kick from King, rolling elbow from Swole, and chef's kiss finish. Vet Vixen for the win. This is it's spot. It's stupid. It's overdone. No offense to the women. I love the fact that women's wrestling is finally taken seriously in 2021. But at this point, pick half a dozen, maybe a dozen at most, women. Push them repeatedly. Rotate people in and out. Get a clue how to put the division together, and just be intelligent about it. This is not, everyone can play wrestling. This is a national promotion and should be treated as such. Post-match, Jade Cargill comes out, confronts Velvet again. And then we go to just utter trash. Michael Nakazawa defeats Mike Magnum in just over 4 minutes. Nakazawa is there because he's a friend of Kenny Omega's. No other reason. He is older, 40 plus. He is extremely comedy and goofy. I wouldn't honestly even book him on an indie show. And there's absolutely no value on a show that's already running long to having this put together. But he's basically a lackey for Omega. Apparently, some people say in real life, I don't know the guy, so I don't know that. But that's how he's been portrayed in character here. Nakamura wears a headset into the ring. He gets notes from the back in the headset. Headset is destroyed during the match. Nakamura keeps trying to fix this throughout. He decides to choke his opponent with it. And then Nakamura walks into a DDT from Magnum for a near fall. Nakazawa hits Magnum with a laptop and then hit him with it pretty well. And then there's a tombstone power slam type maneuver getting the win. Nakazawa falls forward into a power slam. This is a Kenny Omega Don Callis, I guess, inspirational thing. Match didn't need to happen at all. And I feel badly for Magnum, who I don't think I've seen before, so it's one of his first few matches, if not his first match overall with the company. And this is an insult to his talent, should he have any, to be given this. Speaking of insult to talent, Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford defeats Baron Black and John Skyler. Skyler is the most talented of the bunch with the biggest upside. Miro's being wasted. Sabian, Ford, and Baron Black can all be tossed out. Miro destroys Black on the floor. Then they get in the ring, destroying Skyler. Sabian hangs out in the corner and talks to Ford. Miro beats Skyler up and basically basks in the boos of the crowd. I don't mind Miro. I'm hoping that tonight Miro turns on Sabian and they actually do something with a guy that they brought over from a national company that he had been completely killed off him, but they could have rebuilt him from the beginning. They didn't. Another mistake. Max Caster with Anthony Bowens defeats Alex Reynolds with John Silver in almost 8.5 minutes. There is, of course, a rap from Caster. Caster and Reynolds, it says Reynolds helped train him. but he hates him anyway. Caster calls out Hangman Page again. Bowens, is certainly kind of lagging behind between the injury and the obvious charisma difference. Caster is really sound in the ring, has good psychology, works on the arm of his opponent, goes back to it whenever he gets the advantage. Reynolds starts to make a short-term comeback. Caster pulls him by the hair into the backbreaker. Caster then goes to the top, wrist lock, and misses. Charge into the corner. Reynolds comes back with a series of elbows and a drop kick. Reynolds is one of the better members of Dark Order, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a really good upside. First saw him with Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore, and I think he's got a lot going on. Caster finally drops the elbow off the top to get the win. Again, Dark is a show that if they cut it in half and had it be half as long, that would be good. But there's literally just no reason for half of the matches that take place on Dark or Elevation. I love AEW, glad to have an alternative, but they hit about maybe 40 to 50% of the time, and they have the ability to be hits in almost every segment if they just weren't overbooking themselves into corners. Anyway, hope that's helpful. We will be back with NXT and Dynamite later tonight, as well as an Impact review here in a little bit. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.